Did you know that direct messages on LinkedIn or Facebook Messenger could be your most profitable lead generation tool? Well, let's learn from Natasha. She's not only the founder of School of Bots, but also my amazing co-host here at AdWorld. I'm looking forward to learn from you. So, the stage is yours, Natasha.
Hey there, thanks for taking the time to watch my talk at AdWorld. In this talk, I'm going to share some of the most effective methods for using messenger bots and Instagram DM automation for your business. So since we have limited time, I want to get right into things. To give you a little bit of background about me, I'm the co-founder of School of Bots, the trusted chatbot marketing resource for marketers and businesses. And these are some of the things that we've accomplished over the last 5 years. Truthfully, I've spent literally every waking minute over the last 5 years working on messenger bot and now Instagram DM automation and some other channels like text message, marketing strategies, working with our clients, teaching this stuff to a lot of different types of people, both marketers and business teams. So I've spent quite a bit of time understanding how you can best learn these methods and then apply them as quickly and effectively as possible for both short-term and long-term ROI. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today and what you're going to walk away with is an actionable chatbot marketing strategy that you can implement in 7 days or less from today. And if you really take the time to take notes, so get your notepad out, get your Google Doc out to take notes, and think about how exactly you're going to apply everything that I'm sharing in this talk, you could even go by the end of today or tomorrow, implement one of these things immediately and start generating revenue for your company. The strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today have generated some incredible results for our clients and for the people that we have taught as well and ourselves, including things like open rates. So this is one of the most hyped up numbers that you might see in the messenger bot space, especially back in 2016 when chatbots really became a thing in the marketing world. So you would see these crazy open and click rate promises, and at the end of the day, they are much, much better than email. But these are some more realistic numbers that I want to share with you. For messenger sequences, we'll see an average of 83% open rates, and then for a messenger list blast, which of course is not always expected by a user as a sequences, you're going to see a lower average rate, something like 60%. And this comes from our client data. Compare that to an email average open rate of 20% when it comes to either of those, a sequence or a list blast, and it's pretty amazing what you can do with these. Now, click rates, you'll see a 2 to 10% on average email when it comes from companies that are operating at scale with list blasts or sequences. This is direct client data from people that we've worked with. And then for Messenger, you'll see a 70% average click rate for a sequence and then 30% for a messenger list blast. Now, a few other case studies just to dive into some niches, into some actual use cases as well. Here's an example for webinar bot funnels that we've worked with. This is one of the most effective use cases and types of funnels that you can implement inside of Messenger. This is another for Instagram specifically. We're going to get into some of that stuff. Now, at the time that you'll watch this, you are not going to be able to do some of the Instagram automation features just yet on any company. They're inside of a private beta right now that we are a part of with several high-profile clients. We're building a case study for Facebook's conference this year on Instagram automation and a few other things. So it's still very early stage, but let me say that Instagram is going to open up the floodgates, open up a brand new market to chatbots that previously might have rejected Messenger, found it too complicated, got confused with policies, and so on. All the other excuses that people might make. So this is just a quick Instagram automation case study I want to share with you. And then for events, since virtual events are hot ever since COVID. And of course, as we move forward, they are truly the way of the future. And so this is an example of high ticket sales off of a virtual conference from people who attended. So now let's talk about the history of Messenger and what has actually happened over the last 5 years that has led to today, to the point in time in which we have so many case studies, billions of dollars generated on the platform, and without a doubt, knowing that this is the now and the future of business and customer communication for both B2C and B2B. So over the last 5 years, let's start back in 2016, 2017. Messenger bots open up to the public. Companies are testing, and this graph right here is one of the most important things that happens in that time frame. The number of monthly active users on messaging apps, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, all sorts of different ones that we'll talk about in a moment. But the big four actually surpass the number of monthly active users on the 4 top social media networks. So that's massive. You think about your daily consumer behavior, and nowadays, especially with COVID and everybody working from home or having accelerated digital tools within the workspace, you're seeing everybody on messaging apps all day to accomplish literally anything in your life, right? Friends, family, mom, you're talking to them on maybe iMessage or WhatsApp or Messenger or Instagram DM, Telegram. And then for coworkers, maybe you're using things like Slack or Skype or Viber or WhatsApp, things like that, Signal, etc. So ultimately, this number in this event in time started to trigger the exponential growth that we have seen in the chatbot marketing space. So now from there, we take a look at 2018 and 2019. So fast forward about 3-4 years, right? And we're seeing 2 billion messages sent monthly on Facebook Messenger between businesses and users in 2018. And then in 2019, it grows to 20 billion, which is just insane, right? Again, exponential growth here. And personalized marketing is also on the rise at this point in time. So we look at some of the numbers from 2019 about the ROI on personalizing your marketing. Think about some of the biggest brands that you interact with on a daily basis. Netflix, Amazon. These businesses have a personalized website or platform just for you. As a unique user, you can go there and see recommendations for you, what you should buy next, what you should pair your next purchase with, and so on, right? We've all gone through that process. Maybe don't think about it too much. And in fact, you even think, wow, this is so convenient. I'm so glad that they reminded me about that because I was thinking about buying that and forgot, right? Or whatever the case might be. You enjoy having that personalized recommendation piece because it saves you time as a consumer. And it's also ultimately what everybody is wanting at this point. You don't want to waste so much time researching or thinking about, where you can find the next thing that you're looking for. So ultimately, the easiest and the most effective way to personalize, though, for an average company, if you're not Amazon or Netflix, is to use a chatbot, to use messaging automation to actually find out more about your customer or your lead within a few seconds, back and forth automated with no human intervention needed. And then from there, offering them the most relevant product or service for them based on the answers and information that they have given you. And that's truly caring about your customer and your lead, right? And that's only possible with messaging automation when you're doing it at scale. Now, finally, we look at 2020. So the crazy year of growth in a lot of different areas, especially on the internet when it comes to all things e-commerce and communication. So interoperability began technically in 2019, but in 2020, we see Messenger change their logo. You might notice that it has the Instagram purple that's been added to it. And just to give some quick background, interoperability is Facebook's initiative to create this seamless messaging experience between Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp, meaning that if you love Instagram and you hate Facebook and WhatsApp, but you want to talk to friends and family or coworkers on those platforms, you as an Instagram user can use the Instagram platform to talk to those people without having accounts there, but then on Messenger and WhatsApp, your friends, family, etc. would receive your messages on that platform that they love and that they use on a daily basis. And it goes vice versa, all those 3 different ways. And so with chatbots, that implies that you will ultimately have the same messaging experience as a user on all 3 platforms. So then a chatbot that's built for one, you might want to adjust a few things when you're thinking about each different platform, but for the most part, people will be able to experience that same chatbot conversation on all 3 platforms and really empower you as a business to have access to these massive audiences, right? Because Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp are the top networks in the world. And I'll show you a graph in a little bit that talks about that. Now, Instagram DM automation private beta began as well in 2020. And then at that point, on our side as an agency, we've now sent over 20 million chatbot messages on Messenger. So that gave us a lot of data to understand what actually works here and how can we generate more revenue than ever before with these messaging channels while serving people in the best and most authentic ways possible. Mobile internet traffic growth was at its highest in history, and then we saw 10 years of e-com growth as well. If you haven't seen that graph, it's a crazy one, just understanding the growth of e-com during COVID. So now let's zoom out to the rest of the industry, because as of January 2021, the most popular social networks and messaging apps by monthly active users, compare this chart right to earlier, we're now seeing those 4 top Facebook ecosystem platforms in the very top. We just see YouTube here as a second, but you've got Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram. These are the 4 top. And like I mentioned, because of interoperability, and we know what Facebook is trying to do here, they're within the same ecosystem and they're capable of messaging automation at scale. Instagram and WhatsApp are in private beta at the moment here in early 2021, but nonetheless, it's all coming, right? So you just understand and see how Messenger was a guinea pig, Instagram automation is next, and then with WhatsApp now allowing messaging automation as well, still in slower beta than Instagram, then you've got the three platforms available, and as they bring them all together, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, right? Makes your life as a business so much easier to reach people there, and again, empowers you to have access to these audiences in the best ways possible to generate more revenue, regardless of your size of business and whether you're B2B or B2C. Now let's talk about Instagram then, right? Because that's the next step. Like I mentioned, it opens up this whole other market of businesses that maybe thought Messenger was too complicated or, had a lot going on. They weren't quite sure how to use it as all these changes were happening. So with Instagram, things are actually a little bit more simple when it comes to what you can do in the messaging automation and how Instagram messaging actually interacts with the other parts of Instagram. So 81% of people, just throw some stats at you, 81% of people use Instagram to research products and services. It is literally a product/service search engine at this point. You are like, oh, I want to buy some new jeans, look up jeans, cute jeans on Instagram, right? Or you're looking for some jewelry, or you're looking for athletic apparel, or whatever it might be. You'll go to Instagram oftentimes to find the products and services that you want. Whether that comes from an influencer or you're just searching because they have made Instagram's search engine and shop feature so seamless at this point, it's a huge priority for them. And this number comes directly from Instagram this year. Since we're part of the beta, they've shared some numbers with us. Now, 50% of people have visited a site to make a purchase after seeing a product on Instagram. That doesn't necessarily mean an ad. That means a product post that a company could have made, or an influencer saying, hey, these are my favorite types of toothbrushes, like go and buy these, right? So these are two massive numbers that show you the power of commerce on the Instagram platform and how it truly is a buyer's platform. It's a marketplace, which is a little bit different than some of the other social networks that exist as well. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, okay, this is amazing, or you're a little bit overwhelmed, and that's okay, right? Rewatch this a few times as needed. Write down the stats that I'm sharing so you can bring those back to your team and say, hey, we got to be taking advantage of this stuff. But how do you leverage all of this at this point, right? So I want to get tactical with you now. Let's move out of the background, the context, the history. You've got everything that you need to know. You and me are on the same page. And so now let's talk about the 6 levels of chatbot marketing, which is a proprietary framework that we created over the last few years and have optimized specifically for Messenger. And then I want to share specific action items that you can take, or action steps that you can take after this talk to implement everything that I'm sharing with you. So firstly, the 6 levels of chatbot marketing. This beautiful table right here walks you through those steps. And if you've done anything with Messenger bots at this point in time, then you probably fall under one of these earlier levels here of chatbot marketing, because we've got all the way from the very straightforward, you message a business on Facebook and it says, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for messaging us. Conversation stops there, right? All the way to these very in-depth, personalized, automated messaging experiences that allow you to do literally anything you can imagine, from booking a flight to finding the best product for you on a company's site and so on, right? Getting a refund, canceling a membership, anything that you would need to do in an email or a phone call or a website form, you can do all in a conversation. So long story short here, at the very top, we've got that autoresponder strategy, right? Bare minimum. And honestly, if you've got that, at least you're doing better than most companies out there. But if we're being realistic here about what's actually effective and the fullest capabilities of this platform, you do want to be at a level 6. So from there, we've got the notification strategy. I'm going to run through these super quick just to give you better background on what these mean and also help you better place where you're at the moment. Notification strategy was back when broadcasts were a thing. If you were aware of Messenger bots back in 2016 to 2018, there was a way for you to just blast out messages anytime you want, like an email blast, right? But the unfortunate part was that everyone was just spraying and praying in the sense that they weren't getting any customized data on the users. And so they're just messaging everybody like, oh my gosh, open rates and click rates are crazy. So let's just send out a promo anytime we have something, not keeping in mind which of the users have already bought this product, who's interested in this, who has said they don't want to get messages anymore, and so on, right? So that's level 2. Level 3, now we get into some specific funnels. I'm going to share some of those with you later on as we get into tactical step-by-steps, but funnel strategy is a standalone funnel that exists within your Messenger bot, but apart from that, nothing happens after somebody finishes that funnel. There's no ongoing nurturing, there's no upselling, there's no just getting to know your customers and your leads better or serving them on an ongoing basis, right? Or even having a general experience to say, hey, what's up? Thanks for messaging us. Like, how can I help you out, right? Doing some sort of recommendation quiz or the like. So a funnel strategy might be, someone comes from an ad campaign into your messenger bot funnel, talks to it, has some sequence messages, and then it stops there. Now, contextual funnel strategy is all that plus the ongoing nurturing that I mentioned. Then you also have your integrations with things like your email platform or other parts of your tech stack. And finally, the AI-powered strategy of taking all of that, everything you're doing, all the use cases you've built, and then adding AI on top of that, artificial intelligence, so that your bot gets a little bit smarter as time goes on and can answer things that users might type to it in a better, more intelligent, more contextual manner. And finally, at the very top, we've got our omnichannel strategy. So this now involves not only Messenger, but also all the other channels that are relevant to your business, which might be SMS, email, WhatsApp, Instagram DM, and so on. And they're all speaking to each other so that you can leverage the same funnels, use cases, etc., all in multiple channels as well. So these are the 6 levels of chatbot marketing that we've created over the last few years, and we've continued to refine this as we add more and more channels to our tech stack and what's possible with chatbots. We'll continue to update this and share it, but ultimately, this is something really important for you to understand before you get into this or before you build your next messenger bot initiative, because you want to understand the things that you should be doing and the things that you shouldn't be doing. And I think this graph does a pretty great job at doing that. So now that we're on the same page with all the levels of chatbot marketing at this moment in time, let's talk about creating your level 6 strategy. What's the first step? So we're going to go through the MSS framework, and this stands for marketing, support, and sales. Now, the reason that they're in this order is because somebody will be generated as a lead in your business. So, you're going to generate leads. They're going to come in, maybe they're cold or warm, and they want to learn more about your offers or a specific solution that you can offer them. So that might be a lead magnet, a mini video course, a discount code, etc. And then from there, there's going to be a point where people have more questions. They want to know, is this the right product for me? How far can I go with this? My experience level is beginner, intermediate, is this product right for me? And so on. How will this work? All the little logistical details, right? That your customer support team is answering over and over and over inside of email support and so on. So we have the support element in the middle because the chatbot should help alleviate quite a bit of those repetitive questions and then help actually convert that lead into a buyer. So if we take a look at what we actually want to accomplish here, within the next 7 days or less, you should be able to implement this sequence right here of events, which is generating leads. I'm going to give you both a Messenger and an Instagram funnel for doing this. Then for support, you will have your top 10 FAQ about one offer. You're just going to choose one offer that you want to go with in order to run this effectively and not worry so much about, we've got to add all our products into, our messenger bot and everything about them. That's going to take you months sometimes. So within 7 days or less, you can add the top 10 FAQ about your top one offer. And then in sales, then you will sell that one offer only initially. You will only give that to people inside of the messenger bot. And then you're going to want to build on that, right? Because one of the biggest advantages of a chatbot versus email or even landing page funnels and so on is that those don't take into account the user's feedback in real time. In a messenger bot, someone can tell me, I'm not interested in that offer. And then we can say, okay, well, what about it are you not interested in? Is it that the price is too high for you? Is it that you don't think this is the right solution to your current problems? And then from there, we can find out a little bit more and try to give them another solution, but still within your product ecosystem, right? That allows you to still capture the lead, still build a relationship with them, and actually still convert them, even if it's not the very linear path that you have created historically with your email funnels or your landing page funnels. So moving into then what this actually looks like with Messenger. Let's go, get your notepads out, get ready to write this down. So your very first step is to decide on a free evergreen offer that you can give. Maybe this is a lead magnet that you already have. Maybe this is a top performing blog article or long form email that you have that people had great feedback about. And so whatever that is, putting that into some sort of easy PDF or multi-message format is the very first step. And actually at my talk at AdWorld 2020, I talked about a specific formula that you can follow as well there. So just in case any of you guys have access to that, that'll also be helpful for you to add on to this. But regardless of that, ultimately you're just deciding on that offer. Then you want to decide on your end goal. So are you trying to book sales appointments? Do you want to convert people to a lower ticket offer, maybe 50 to 200 bucks? Or what is your end goal here? And then finally, you're gonna build a 5 to 8 message conversation. It might look something like this right here, where you've got all this back and forth happening, you're capturing information. Ideally, you're sending it somewhere else, like a Google Sheet or your CRM or your ESP, your email service provider. And you can use tools like ManyChat.com or similar messenger bot platforms that allow you to build this without any coding. It's an out-of-the-box solution, just like you would use something like Keep or Drip or Maropost for your email marketing, and create all this fancy logic. You can do the same thing inside of platforms like this. ManyChat is our favorite tool at this point in time because you are able to do literally anything that you can think of when it comes to chatbot marketing within it. Now from there, you're going to create a type of Facebook post called a comment to messenger post. Within ManyChat, you'll be able to connect your messenger bot to a specific Facebook page post, which allows you to then message every single person that comments on your posts. It's pretty incredible. And then from there, you can actually tell people in the post, whether it's a live or you've just got, a creative, like you can see here in my example, you say, hey, in order to get this freebie, this free offer, go ahead and comment below. Answer a question for me or tell me, what you think about this. So that can happen in a live or in just, some post copy, and making it very clear in your post that they need to comment in order to get access to that free offer. And finally, in order to scale this, you'll want to run an engagement ad campaign to this post. And this ideally, as I mentioned earlier, should be an evergreen post. You can test it on a launch or something of the like, but doing it evergreen then will allow you to get ROI from this ongoing for as long as you possibly can, and continue to test this out with different offers, different methods. But this is a very easy and effective, direct and straightforward way for you to start to generate revenue with the messenger bot ASAP. Now, I want to talk about Instagram now in regards to what this looks like there, because this MSS is still very prominent and important on the Instagram platform, and it really will go most likely for any chatbot platform. We'll see how things evolve, but as we see it now, we want to have these 3 pillars present on every single chatbot experience that we have on any platform, because it's really important to have these 3 things available in order to decrease the amount of human intervention that you might need and to increase the number of conversions that can happen in the shortest amount of time, right? So when we look at Instagram, same idea here, right? We're using the marketing piece to generate leads. I'm going to share a method of doing that in a moment. Then you've got your top 10 FAQ, one offer, stick to one just to keep it as simple as possible, and then you can build upon that, right? And it gets really fun once you get to make things a little bit more complex. And then you're going to sell that one offer initially as well. So when it comes to Instagram, the first thing you want to do, just like Messenger, decide on your free evergreen offer, then decide on your end goal. And now you're going to build a 5 to 8, I should have emphasized that a little bit more earlier, but 5 to 8 back and forth message conversations. Start with that, right? You're going to maybe ask the user questions about your product as it relates to them and their experience and where they're at right now with whatever it is that your product offers a solution for, and then recommending that product as a customized offer, right? So you're positioning it as a customized offer to them, but truly you're offering everybody the same thing initially so that you can understand the behavior here on this new channel and prove it for your business. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and do that. So same 3 steps, but again, it's a different platform. So think about how you're gonna use emojis, how you're gonna format messages as they are natively on the platform, how you communicate as a regular consumer with friends and family, etc. Now, step 4 is gonna be a little bit different because the way that you're gonna generate leads on Instagram will primarily be through stories. 50% of the conversations started on Instagram in DMs happen from a story. Instagram makes it so easy, right? Everybody watches stories all day, every day. And so you want to react to something or you want to share your opinion when it comes to a story. It's so easy to just type at the very bottom, right? And reply to that. So in the same way here, we have a story. Looks something like this as an example. I'll show you one more example of a different format, multi-story, in a moment. And that's going to lead into a conversation. So as soon as you DM a certain word, and I would recommend keeping that word to less than 7 letters, and sometimes even adding a number to the end of that word. So you might say something like, hey, DM me the word energy 1. or DM me money1, right, as an example, because the likelihood of somebody typing that to you in DMs, like in just a regular conversation, is pretty low, right? So you want to just have a word that's a little bit more unique so that you can trigger the automation for everybody who is typing that. Now, once they do that, then they're going to receive a response back immediately, and it's going to trigger an automated back and forth conversation that you previously built in step 3. Now, in step 5, you want to film or create a story or image video series that you can tell people to DM in, and tell them to DM that specific word in order to get whatever it is your freebie is, right? And then finally, post the story to generate 800% more leads on average from your stories. These are the average numbers that we're seeing at the moment compared to swipe up stories or link in bio posts, and it's just incredible because not only can we generate more leads for the specific offer that we originally offered people in the story or in the post, but we can also then pivot, as I mentioned. And if somebody doesn't sign up for that freebie, or they don't complete your end offer, right? They don't go to the next step, then you can say, hey, you know, what's up? What happened? Can I get some feedback from you? And then you get that feedback, learn a little bit more about them, and it can be customized depending on what they're saying to you, and create those different paths. And then from there, maybe you recommend another free offer to them, or maybe you recommend another low ticket paid offer, or a call just to get to know them better if they seem like they could be a great high quality lead for your business. And finally, the last step when it comes to Instagram is to actually run a messages ad campaign to these stories. So test out a few things when it comes to your organic stories, but most of the time at this moment in time, because it's so early and because we're getting just incredible lead generated numbers as well as overall conversions happening in these conversations, there is just so much opportunity that I would recommend doing anything that you do for organic and turning that into a paid campaign to see how you can scale those and go as far as you can with each creative. So here's an example of a multi-story post that also performed incredibly well. These do well overall when it comes to any type of Instagram story, whether it's swipe up or telling people to DM a certain word, but these do very well. Hopefully that's a great example for you guys, give you some insight into what that might look like. And then this is an example of more of a one story if I go back to the previous slide there. And with that, guys, we have covered quite a bit on this talk here. I hope that you took as many notes as you could. Feel free to rewatch this as many times as you need to. And ultimately, I hope you walk away from this talk understanding what your specific next steps should look like. And also then from there, how you can continue to expand upon your journey, upon the different features and use cases that you'll implement into your messenger bots and into your Instagram DM automation experiences to decrease the amount of time that your team has to spend answering the same DMs over and over, and also increase conversions, increase the number of leads that are being captured in your sleep 24/7. It's incredible technology once you start to implement it and start to scale and understand it. If you'd like to reach out or learn more about our proven chatbot marketing frameworks, please check out our site, schoolofbots.co. You're welcome to email me as well if you want to share a little bit more about your current situation, whether you're a business that's wanting to hire somebody to do this for you, if you're a marketer or somebody starting out that wants to learn how to add this to your agency or start to offer this to businesses, just get it implemented in any type of business, feel free to reach out to me, share a little bit more, and I'm happy to recommend one of our solutions, one of our free trainings for you. Enjoy the rest of AdWorld, and thanks for tuning into my talk.